So your credit score is basically when in this country you want to have debt because you've got to build a credit profile and a credit history. So you actually don't want to pay for everything in cash in America, because when you go to try to get a home or a car loan, if there's just nothing, that's actually not good. They want to see that you borrow money and that you pay it back. So the best thing to do is to maybe like charge everything on one credit card, pay it off every single month, right? That's what they're looking for, and you slowly build that up. So like my stepdad would help me take out credit cards because he, grew up not having much, and he learned like how this played out. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna co-sign for something. You need to, when I started working at 15, he's like, you need to get a bank account, you need to get like whatever they'll give you and start using it and pay it off every single month so that you can build this profile. Now, unfortunately, sometimes parents take stuff out in kids' names and ruin their credit, and that's a whole different discussion. But what he's saying is some things that people pay. So if somebody is, let's say somebody's renting, but they're renting like in cash, right? They're paying their landlord in cash and getting like receipts. That's not something that's really probably going to show up anywhere, right? And if they're paying their cell phone bill, that's probably all they have. They don't have utilities in their name because they're probably in the landlord's name. Maybe if they do have one, like you said, maybe the power, and it's only being reported if they don't pay. In essence, they're never getting a credit score, even though they're paying their cell phone bill on time, they're paying in cash for their apartment, they're paying their electric bill. Unless they do something bad, there's nothing that's building up. So he's saying certain people that have historically been kept from home ownership will be disproportionately impacted because their families had less of an opportunity to build generational wealth, right? So in this country, when we talk about generational wealth, that's the money that the family can pass on so that each generation doesn't have to start over, right? So my goal is for my son to not have to go, run up all this debt, like getting student loans and stuff, for me to be able to show him other ways and to have a home that's paid for at some point so he doesn't have to go out and go into debt, right? So you had certain people in this country, white people who, and not all white people, but folks that had been here for a longer amount of time, who were able to save their money, who profited off of slavery and different things. They had all this wealth, and what did they do? They pass it down to the next generation, and they can keep building and amassing wealth. Well, if you don't own a home and you don't own land and you're constantly having to rent and you're constantly having to pay all of these debts all of the time, and you're never able to create wealth, because we remember what was wealth. Wealth was all of your assets minus all of your debt, right? So you would need a positive outcome at the end of that, right? So that's why I said there's good debt and bad debt. Good debt is usually things like real estate or things that